Hello everyone and welcome to the Boy Yeah That's It channel. So I've done a lot of stuff on the channel, whatever. But now I'm going to talk about Tottenham. That team right there. Recent news: Gallagher. We've also got Sousa, some Brazilian left back. He's doing medical today, I think. But the main news is the fact we took Conor Gallagher from Aston Villa. And to be honest, it was such an out of nowhere deal. I have no idea where we're trying to get from this. Oh, we've signed Conor Gallagher. It's like, who cares? But I think I had the same questions as everyone else has. Like, where's he gonna fit in this system? Because I don't know where he's gonna fit in this system. He could fit anywhere. He's not gonna play Cam because that's where Xavi Simon plays. But he ain't gonna play. He's gonna play in the double pivot with whoever else is gonna be next to him. People saying Paulinho, that makes sense. Whatever. But what about Saar? What about all these other men that play? This deal is just. I don't think it fits in Frank's system, and I don't know if this is a Frank signing or if this is a Tottenham signing. We're paying like 40 million for Conor Gallagher. Atletico don't want him because he wasn't playing well then. He doesn't fit in the system. So, and then Frank's gonna take him and try and fit him into like a system. I don't think this is like. Problem is right is okay. We do need a centre mid. I don't want Clock. I don't think I want Conor Gallagher. It's the same with like everything else. You know, we need a left wing and a right wing. And we also need a left back, which cool. We've signed a left back, but why is that priority? Why is the centre mid priority? The priority should be signing a left winger because we still don't have one. And now that we sold Johnson, we need a right winger, and we're not signing one. There's no links to signing these wingers. There's no links nowhere for wingers. And I think we need a striker on top of that, which we're not signing. Like, we signed, obviously, the people we've signed throughout the past years have just been not very good. Solanke injured, hasn't played this season. When he did play like 5 minutes, when he probably should have played that whole game at bloody Aston Villa. Okay, don't start him. Sure, bring him out at half time at least. Don't bring him out for like the last 10 minutes. We need a goal, not bloody. Richarlison has been like 50-50. Like, he's good, but I think we should probably keep Richarlison. Maybe, I don't know. He's he's fine, but he shouldn't be our starter. Colin Mooney was such a waste. I I honestly didn't rate him when we put him in for a loan, and people were like, "Oh yeah, Colin Mooney's good." Like, no, he's not. Why do you think Juventus didn't go for him? Juventus went for the player that I wanted, which was David. We should have signed Jonathan David instead of Solanke, because David was a Champions League player. He played for Lille in the Champions League. So what? We don't sign him and we go for Solanke in Bournemouth. What's he done? Nothing really. He's got injured He's got injured and that's it. And we signed Xavi Simons and he's been a whole whatever. Like, he's looked good in some games, but most of the time he's just not looking good at all. But I don't think that's the fault of Xavi Simons. I think that's the fault of the players we have around him. He hasn't got a striker to push forward into. Frank's system is just so strange. I don't get it. I don't think anyone gets it. I don't think he even gets what his system's going for, because we're getting inconsistent results. We're not winning games. We're losing games. It's so long before he even gets sacked, and it. This year has been crazy for so many different teams, so many different players. People have been sacked. Like, at the start of the season, you had Ange Postecoglou from Nottingham Forest, which you probably shouldn't have just kept at this point, because I don't think Frank's a good replacement for him. Xabi Alonso's just been sacked. Amarim's just been sacked. You still got like Xavi and all them man who still haven't got clubs. But yet, our manager doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and our players don't seem to rate him. and our fans don't seem to rate him. And every single team we go up against, OBS just like stop my recording for no reason. That's great, honestly. I'm having a great time. Been ranting for like probably the past 20 minutes, and these man, it's not even recording. Oh my god. So we're signing Conor Gallagher, and we're signing a left back. We have no visions of left wingers. We have no visions of right wingers. There's progression being lost on both Archie Gray and Bergval. There's terrible midfielders and terrible centre backs and left backs playing garbage. Everyone's playing terrible under Frank's system. Should we sack Frank? I don't know. It might be the right decision at this point, but then it can't sack him because they know if they sack him, they're telling the fans that this manager is crap. But this right now is probably the best time to sack him because there's so many managers out there to grab. You have the likes of Xavi, you have the likes of Xabi Alonso, you have Pochettino, Postecoglou is still out there. We could grab him back. We ain't gonna come back. But like there's so many good like decent managers out there to grab now that we probably should sack Thomas Frank because Frank is just not a good manager. He's out of his depth in a team that's not playing good, and we're signing just nothing players. We have a director in football who's not even going to stay with us at the end of this month. So what's the point in still having him at the club? Why is Patrici still here? Why is he here? Just let Fiorentina have him. If he's going to go there anyway, might as well just let him go there. Let him die in that sinking ship. Because if he goes in February, he ain't going to have this window to pick up players. So what's the point in going there if they're going to get relegated by the time they manage to even sign any players? Fuck him. Let him go. Now. And the only other director is Lange. I don't know. I've not seen Lange. I don't know if he's good. I don't really care if he's good. He's probably just as crap as the rest of the Tottenham team. The whole board is just crap. Just crap board all round. Like, the manager doesn't know what he's doing. He seems so stressed playing games. And to be honest, the fans don't like what they're seeing and they're booing. And the opposite fans are singing, "You're going to get sacked in the morning." Arsenal on top of the table with no team fighting them because this Premier League this year just trash. Every team's playing garbage except Arsenal, and rightly so. Arsenal are the best team. They are the team to go up against, and no team is. Arsenal's not losing any to any other team. When we played a derby, we lost at home. I don't know how anyone could defend this Tottenham side. What is the positives? There is no positives. Some players play well sometimes, but most of the time they're playing nothing. Our team gets battered at home every single time we go here. We're just giving points away. We're 40th in the league, and our best signing is Conor Gallagher. We're in the Champions League, man. Our best signing shouldn't be Conor Gallagher. It should be something else. It should be more. We should push our waters out a bit. Act like a big six side. How is Aston Villa taking big six from us? How are we letting them take big six from us? Newcastle looks more like a big six side than Tottenham does. Newcastle, like, these teams are spending money and we're spending nothing. 40 million on Conor Gallagher and then like 20 million or 50 million on some just random left back from Santos who looks good but it's injury prone. Oh, great. More injury prone players add to our collection of injury prone players. We're playing this negative football with no attacking. Frank's supposed to be changing system around, which, okay, has he been doing that? I think he has. I don't know. I haven't seen much. Whatever I've looked at, it's been garbage. So it doesn't really matter if he's been changing the system around. The system's not working. Whatever he's using, it's just crap. Crap signings, crap players who ain't playing well. Just everything is just terrible. Like I don't know what's going on anymore with Tottenham. We have this big £1 million stadium, but we play crap in this big £1 million stadium. And you expect fans to pay like £200 to go to this big fancy stadium. The only thing good about going to Tottenham is going to the stadium. Watching the actual game is crap. Like, how is the funnest thing about Tottenham going to the stadium and not watching the game? It'd be more fun for me to just look at the stadium from outside than actually go in and watch a game of Tottenham. That's how crap we're playing. The funniest thing about Tottenham Stadium and watching games in Tottenham Stadium is probably the rugby, like the football, the American football that goes in there. That's the funniest thing about Tottenham. The American football goes in there, and that's probably the best game we've seen. It's just crap. It's crap. We play crap at our own stadium. How do Tottenham play crap at their own stadium? Playing this garbage, negative football, watching us sign these mid players who nobody really knows, and if you do know them, they're whatever. Where's the big transfers? Why did we sign Solanke? Why did we not sign David? Why did we not do this? Why did we not do anything? Why are we still not signing a left winger? For God's sake, Son left a year ago and we've still not got a replacement for him. And then we sell Brendan Johnson, making another hole on the other side. Our right wingers are both injured because you're running Kunis into the floor. There is no right wingers. Kulusevski's been injured and he wants to play Cam anyway. And then you play Carlo Mueni on the right wing. The only good game he's had is against PSG. There was no good game from him. He's played crap in the Prem when he's played crap in every other game he's played. I knew he was garbage when we signed him. We signed him like, oh yeah, everyone's like, oh yeah, Koulibaly's going to be fantastic. No, he's not. Why do you think PSG sold him? Ramos hasn't even played a game. He's been better than him though. He's been better than Carlo Mueni. Our left back's been injured for ages. We signed another left back. Cool. Spence can finally go back up right back. Sure, great. But we're selling Dragusin, and Brendan Johnson's going to leave. All these players are going to leave. Tell doesn't want to stay. Richarlison doesn't want to stay. Van de Ven and Romero don't want to stay. But why would they? We're playing crap. They want to go to better teams, and they have every right to. Because Tottenham are playing crap. So what does the future of Tottenham hold? I don't know. I don't even think we are going to have Frank by the end of this bloody season. If Frank gets sacked, I wouldn't be surprised. We're giving him a whole year to do something, and he's done nothing. He's been worse than Postecoglou, but at least Postecoglou had to fight for the Europa League. We haven't got the Europa League this year, though, because we won Europa League, so we're in Champions League. And yet, we're not going to win Champions League, because how are we going to win Champions League? We ain't beating Real Madrid or Barcelona. We ain't going to beat Bayern Munich or PSG. They'll smash us to next week in the finals. Like, PSG have worsened their side, and they're still better than we are. They sold the best goalkeeper probably in the world at this point, and replaced him with Xavier, which isn't a bad keeper, but I don't think he's as good as Donnarumma was. This is the time the Premier League's playing the worst of their worst. This is the time where we should pick up and try and get ourselves into top 4, but we're not going to do it. We're 14th. We ain't doing nothing. Even our own sponsors don't want to stay with us. How are we supposed to win anything when the best signing we've got is Conor Gallagher? We need a left winger And if I don't see a left winger this window, then we're not winning nothing this year. We're just done for. Tottenham's done for. Another like it's gotten so bad that I don't even want to watch the games anymore. Because what is there to watch? Tottenham are just garbage, and when we're at home, we're even worse. We're putting Conor Gallagher into a system that I don't think he fits into. He's playing double pivot alongside Paulinho. Our centre backs are saving us basically. Our centre backs have scored more goals than our attack has. That's saying something. Why is Van de Ven making these long runs to score goals because our team can't score goals? We've got Van de Ven making these Son Heung-min runs when, Son was a left winger. He could do those runs. Van de Ven shouldn't be doing these runs. Romero and Van de Ven are getting into the box because they are the best attackers we have. Put them at striker. They're better than bloody Richarlison, Solanke and Koulibaly are. Our system's not working. And Frank's changing around the system a bunch. I don't know. Is he changing it? Beats me. Tottenham are playing garbage. We're signing nothing. We have no links for left wingers, which we should be signing, which should be priority. Priority should be left winger because we have no left wingers. But we're prioritizing buying a left back and a centre mid. Apparently, this board has given us 150 million plus the selling of Brennan Johnson. So Brennan Johnson sold for about 40, 50 million. So we have about 200 mil to play around with. Half of that, the 50 million, about 55 million has gone on to both Conor Gallagher and some left back. So the other 150 million needs to go on a left winger and a right winger and maybe even a striker because we're going to need one. So who would I say we should sign? I don't know. Who's out in the window that we can sign at this point? If we need a left winger right now, it's important that we get a winger. But who's the winger we get? Who's out there? Maybe Savinho because Semenyo's gone to Man City. That's really the only choice I think we have. Is Savinho if he wants to leave Man City because he ain't going to get the games there now. Who else is there? Lookman. I've seen Lookman so many times, but I don't think we're going to get him either. And I don't think he'd be that good either. I don't even know who the other options are for left winger. I don't think there is any other options for left winger other than them guys. There probably is. I'm probably missing someone. Push down in the comments if you know any other left wingers. Plus, we need probably another right winger. I have no idea. And a striker. Because our strikers are just a waste of time. Our strikers are actually a waste of time. Like, our best strikers for Richarlison, and that is actually just so sad. We didn't play Solanke in that Aston Villa game. Why? Why did he not play that game? Like, I get, okay, so he's coming back from injury, sure, okay. But maybe someone at half time, because we're going to need someone to strike the ball, and we have no players who attack. And to be honest, when I've watched Solanke, he's looked like nothing. So, 60 million and another 60 million both went on Richarlison and Solanke, and that means 120 million went on two strikers that are just trash. These guys were not worth 60 million. Like, these guys were probably worth like 40, 30, if that. Like, Richarlison's the best striker. Solanke needs to go. Mueni needs to go. And we need another striker. And you know what? Tell Frank to go with him. Because I don't think he's that good. Can Frank become good? Maybe. Is he going to? I don't know. Will he even get the chance to? He says, we got to play this system, but your system's not working. If the manager's not working, the manager's going to get sacked, isn't he? And that's just how it is. Our board is just crap, and our manager isn't doing anything. Romero's saying there's people telling lies and doing all this other stuff. So your captain is basically pointing out that there's something wrong with the club. The captain doesn't want to stay. The other centre back doesn't want to stay. The the left wing was want to stay, but we want him to stay because if Tell leaves, left wing, we legit have nothing. Tell shouldn't be playing striker. He should be playing left winger. He played well left winger last time I watched him. So what does the future of this club hold? I don't know. This club is playing crap. We're doing nothing and we're being nothing. We're acting like a small club when we're a big club. We're signing nothing. We're doing nothing. There's no links to big players. We're in the Champions League, for God's sake. The point of the Champions League was to bring in these big players, and we brought in nobody. We have small club mentality when we're a big club. We're crap. We are a crap team, signing crap players. Like Chiellini said, it's the history of the Tottenham. No, we're getting memed on. And we have every right to be. You know, our own fans are going crazy. You know, we're booing our own players. You know, and we booed Son. People were scapegoating Son like he was the player that was the problem there. No, Son was never the problem. Son was the bloody player that we should have kept. We should have kept Son. Why did we sell him? We sold Son and didn't replace Son. Then we sell Brendan and we haven't replaced Brendan. Brendan's the goal scorer of this team. He was the one that scored in the final. He was the one that won us the trophy, basically. But we know, we just sell him. 20 goals a season, we sell him to Crystal Palace for 30 million. 30, 40 million. And then we signed Conor Gallagher and some left back. Oh, great. I should feel so glad to be a Tottenham fan, innit? That's it. I don't want to talk about Tottenham anymore. I'm sick and tired of them already.